And so the skill and ability they have 6 months into the job, a model that can pick up that skill on the job, on the fly, when should we expect such an AI system?
Yeah. So I guess what you're talking about is like, we're doing this interview for 3 hours, and then like, someone's going to come in, someone's going to edit it. They're going to be like, oh, I don't know, Dario, like, scratched his head, and, we could edit that out. And,
Magnify that.
There was this like long discussion that like is less interesting to people. And then there's other thing that's like more interesting to people. So, let's kind of make this edit.
Yeah, and realistically, you've only got 10 or 20 years left of hedonism before you have to check out. So,
yeah, similar to the last 10 minutes at Chuck E. Cheese's, just go wild.
blow all your tickets on Fun Dip.
That was a great. I don't know where that came from, Nick, but that was a great pull.
I don't know.
But
Do you guys ever go to hibachi grills?
I don't know if this is allowed on the show.
Hibachi grills?
I know where you're going with this because we talked about it in Azeroth.
No, you're so right. I'll just suffice it to say, Chuck E. Cheese was my mental bridge to hibachi grills, because they're very similar energy.
You can't say that. You can't say that on the pod.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyway,
they'll have to go behind a paywall.
That's behind the paywall. But yeah, check out Chuck E. Cheese's. One of the funniest things ever was when they rebranded as Pasquale's during COVID.
that was so funny.
And people thought they were getting authentic pizza and wings, but they were getting Chuck E. Cheese's. Well,
whenever I think of Chuck E. Cheese, did you ever see that? Did you ever see? I don't know if it was a public service announcement or I don't know what organization put it out, but I always remember seeing, or I have this deep memory of a child playing in Chuck E. Cheese. There's like, oh shit, those tunnels in Chuck E. Cheese that you would adventure around, climb through?
No. Don't recall.
Really?
No.
The big play.
I remember the ball pit.
Shit.
No, it's like oh shit. So many likes,
bro.
It's similar to the playpens at McDonald's where there's tubes that you can adventure through.
Do you think maybe that's
imagine what would be in a hamster enclosure? That's it's like a giant one inside.
I feel you could write a really great story about kids getting lost in the tubes in the back rooms.
I remember seeing an ad or something at some point where there was a kid adventuring in those tubes, and then there was a pedophile in the tubes who catches them.
Well, I think that ties into our later topic, but that's pretty horrific.
Yeah, it'd be pretty horrifying.
Speaking of horrific things happening at Chuck E. Cheese,
I never liked it. I don't like that it's a rat.
I'm gonna be honest. As a kid, I loved Chuck E. Cheese.
Same.
It's literally playing games for dopamine and tickets, and then turning in your tickets for dopamine and prizes. And it's your parents' money. It was so wonderful.
My favorite thing in the entire world when I was younger was little green army men, and I think I would drive my dad nuts sometimes at like different arcades because like sometimes we'd get a pretty good number of tickets, and I just want to cash them all in on army. Like, imagine having enough tickets to get like a PS5. And your kid is like, no, I want Green Army Man.
Yeah. I would always go for the stuffed animal.
And then your poor dad gets home and your mom's like, how much money did you spend at Chuck E. Cheese with this fucking kid?
Yeah. All right. Enough cheesing around. Let's get into the meat of it.
I have a lovely group of individuals to share with you today.
Excellent.
This is a deep interest of mine. I love insane people on the internet, so I'm very, very pleased to present you with my menagerie of mentally ill posters.
Epic.
Jamie, if you could.
Yeah, I've been out
Very
of the game
intrigued.
on a lot of social media and internet, so I'm intrigued.
I'll say too.
Yeah.
I had a pretty busy week this past week. So I was not following along in the group chat very much, and I have literally no idea what to expect from this presentation.
Amazing.
I'm very excited.
Nice. Before I get into our individuals today, I'd like to read this quick note.
You'd enjoy to read this note. You're just greasing the wheels.
Yeah. Out in the Shed does not support bullying in any form. Any discussions of individuals in this show should be interpreted as appreciation and support. And I'd go even as far as, if this episode makes it to any of the individuals discussed today, we'd happily have you on the pod to talk about movies or whatever.
So
Or Chuck E. Cheese.
when you
Chuck
say
E.
any discussion of individuals in this show should be interpreted as support, does that include Jeffrey Epstein?
We are Jeffrey.
Before I get into the individuals now, I just wanted to give a quick run through of the 3 different types of social media content. So the first class of content here is just straight, genuine content.
Mhm.
Things made with effort that can be unironically enjoyed. Think music that you like.
Music you enjoy, perhaps.
Music that you enjoy.
Costco guys.
Costco
Big
guys.
Justice.
Big Justice.
AI
Dave
Charlie
Ramsey.
Kirk. Maybe not AI Charlie Kirk, but I genuinely enjoy it. So.
Then there's rage bait. Very lowbrow content. Heavy-handed. It's cheap. It's easy. Very amateur. Last and most importantly, we have cringe content. And this is my favorite kind of content. We got stuff that's visceral, raw, and real. Things that boggle the mind and spirit. This is a really wide umbrella, but it's what we're here to talk about today.
Said umbrella.
So would an example of this be Back It Up, Terry? Is that an example?
What is that?
Have you never seen that?
No.
Where's the dude in the wheelchair and they light off the fireworks and then they say, "Back it up, Terry." Put it in reverse.
I've never seen that.
You can't say that on the podcast.
Why not?
It sounds related to hibachi. Is all I'll say.
What's an example of cringe content that I would know?
Are we gonna get into some of this, maybe?
We're gonna get into it. I'm gonna show
examples?
you some. I'm just presenting straight cringe today.
This is a good overview.
Oh,
I think
Yeah.
makes
So
sense.
but we're branching off in the rest of this into cringe content now.
yeah, two more clicks, Jamie. I think will make it very clear where we're going.
Okay, excellent. Yes, this is an Aristotelian classification of content. This is excellent.
Mhm.
Oh, nice. Okay, all my questions are answered.
So
So we're not talking genuine content. We're not talking rage bait. We're talking real cringe content.
For our audio listeners, there's big X's on genuine and rage bait. We're just left with cringe now.
So I wanted to start light here with this first one, and I thought it was important to show the page with the follower count to show that I'm a real connoisseur of these people. This guy has 8,000 followers. His name's Tullamore. He's a musician from he's a musician from New England. He makes really terrible music. But you might look at this guy. He's a boomer. He's got a song called Friday Crazy Night that he posts every Friday.
Friday Crazy Night. Gonna dance all night.
He sings in this high-pitched, shrill, really terrible. But what's cringe isn't him and his music.
What?
So here's
What the
here's
fuck?
what really makes Tullamore interesting. He has an alternate persona called Popcat that he doesn't advertise, where he sings Tullamore songs in the music's more of an EDM style. And
I have
at
an
first,
idea. I have an idea for an Out in the Shed spinoff.
lay it on me.
And we all dress up as furries.
We do word for word Out in the Shed episodes, like same as the originals, but we're just in our fursuits.
Yeah. I don't want to derail you too much. Continue. This is very
No. I don't know what's more interesting though. I have a comment clipped over there from Super Sal Photos. Seriously, Telly, you have become a furry. And Telmore responds, "No, I was totally unaware of the concept until people started mentioning it."
Wow.
So
He was a furry and didn't even know it.
The furry hipster.
he's invented being a furry from first principles.
He derived it from the axioms of being.
Fascinating. Honestly, he's such an interesting
Unbelievable.
character. Yeah. So we can move on to our next individual. Well, unless you guys have any thoughts on Tullamore.
No,
Have you ever seen Ted Lasso?
No.
There's an episode of Ted Lasso where he gets high on shrooms and he concocts a whole new way to play soccer, only to find out the next day that was already invented and was one of the best methods of playing soccer. But he came up on it on his own as pretty much the same thing. I really like that concept.
That's pretty funny.
I don't have much else. It's the furry angle's very interesting. I actually will say, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I was hiking Mount Rainier this past August, one of the most beautiful places I've been to, and we're walking through this meadow of wildflowers, and you can see the mountain in the background. And then around the bend comes a train of about 20 furries in full fursuits.
Hiking?
Yeah.
Sounds
That's
so
crazy.
hot.
Yeah, those fursuits can be really heavy.
Yeah, I'm sure it's hot and sweaty and disgusting, and it sort of killed the vibe.
You should wonder how the Disney characters do it.
I think they have fans inside their suits.
I don't think that would make much of a difference.
No, yeah, you're just
I don't
blowing
know.
around hot air.
Yeah.
Maybe AI should. That's a job I support AI replacing, because who wants to do that?
Yeah, that seems like a shit job.
All right, Jay Jeezy. Lay it on
Our
us.
next individual here is Jay.
I don't know if we can talk about this. This is operation. You can just be very careful.
Stop me if I get in a certain way. So this is Jay Jeezy. He's actually local to me.
Wow.
From Tampa, which is crazy. He posts a lot. He was on an arc for a bit where he was posting about how he doesn't bathe and he doesn't wipe. Sorry.
Didn't you have again, not to dox anyone, but didn't you have a person in your life, Taylor, who said he never wiped?
Yes. Must be a Tampa thing.
And that he only cleaned. He just, whenever he would get a shower, he would just clean it out, right?
Yep.
Save time. Yeah,
I live with that guy.
That has still haunted me to this day.
Well, maybe the hibachi diet produces good results.
Anyway, Jay Jeezy is not just a sneaky guy. He's also a rapper.
They gon' hit me now. Call me Charlie Kirk. Shoot me in the neck. Call me Charlie Kirk. They gon' hit me now. Call me Charlie Kirk. Shoot me in the neck. Call me Charlie Kirk, nigga.
He's got hits like Charlie Kirk and Pink Jeezy that you surely know.
I know. Is it We Are Charlie Kirk, or is it a different song?
No, it's just a song called Charlie Kirk.
Oh, I'm not familiar with that then.
Mm.
Mhm.
Now his content is mostly about what he calls 304s, which I think are just prostitutes. So I've got some
Beef code or
snips.
something?
I don't know. I really have no idea. I tried to look it up before.
Sounds like a
he-
HTTP error code, but continue.
So on the first snip here, he says, I just paid my rent, gonna see another 304 and pay for foot emoji job. I think you can put the pieces together there.
Quentin Tarantino?
This next one, I paid rent, so I'm about to pay a 304 to sit on top of me at Econo Lodge on Bush Boulevard in Tampa.
Mm-hmm. What's the pink?
Dude, where do you find these people?
I have no idea. Speaking of finding these people, I wanted to give a special shout out to Ben Avery from the Lemon Party podcast. A lot of these guys that I'm showing today, when I went to look at their profiles, they're all followed by Ben Avery. I think we're kindred.
You guys could be buddies, sort of thing.
In terms of our appreciation of insane people on the internet, I think we could probably find some mutual ground. Any thoughts on Jay Jeezy before we move on?
My thoughts will be behind the Patreon.
Picture on the left gives me Jim Carrey Grinch vibes.
He is sort of green at it.
His
For our audio
voice-
listeners,
His voice is insane.
I can't even describe what we're looking at to our audio listeners, but rest assured, this guy does seem a bit off his rocker.
Oh, and one more thing before we move on from Jay Jeezy, and this is a common thread for a few of these people. Are you guys familiar with soft white underbelly?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. High level, these people would go around and interview people in living in poverty and at rough stages in their lives. Jay Jeezy was interviewed for soft white underbelly.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Very interesting guy.
Guess who's Bizak? Still smell the blow in my clothes. Like Krispy Kreme, I was cooking them O's.
He's getting buzzed.
I'm reading lyrics.
Sure.
I mean, Jay's getting buzzed. He put like in his song.
Mm.
I'm so emotional. I love my Glock. Cash rules everything around me. So what's realer?
Damn.
Whoa.
What a summarization of American society. I think he's onto something.
What's scary about Jay Jeezy is when I see him posting up at places that I go to, knowing that I could run into him.
Yeah, whenever you're going to the Econo Lodge to get some.
Me and him get 304s from the same place.
Oh man, this next one is so intriguing to me.
Oh, Divorced Dad 83.
Yeah.
Oh god.
This is a new find for me. But
this is crazy.
The premise of this guy's account is he is in his 40s, lives in Australia, divorced, has his kids on his profile, but every single one of his posts is about how he is looking for a woman, young woman, and he presents himself as this soft, silent type, a sweet guy, if you will. But he looks so creepy that all of his posts just come off like threatening and scary.
Oh my god, Jamie, can you pull up his Cameo profile? Dude, they're all close-ups, and they're so close up that the top of his forehead and the bottom of his chin is cut off, and the sides of his face. It's just his nose, eyes, and mouth.
Oh my god.
Well, I don't want to accuse him of anything, but I do see what you mean. His demeanor is a little unsettling, to say the least.
Well, yeah, look at the middle one here. Would I help you relax if we were closer? While he's sitting in a bathtub eating soup, it looks like.
Hey, is he doing this? Is he doing this ironically because his cameos?
No.
His cameos literally start with him just breathing heavily into the microphone.
I don't sense a hint of irony on his page.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
Very
The one on the
for someone
the
of his
one-
age to be doing this.
Oh yeah. And it doesn't look like he has greatest career based on his post on the left. When I see your name pop up on my app, I'm driving faster to collect your order. So is he like an Uber Eats driver?
Sounds that he might be some sort of delivery driver. But he also is in a neon jacket. Also, for our audio listeners, left picture, he's in a neon jacket saying, "When I see your name pops up on my app, am driving faster to collect your order." That's creepy. In the middle, he's in a bathtub. I don't know how this picture was taken. He might have set up a selfie cam. It says, "Would I help you relax if we were closer?" And then right.
These are all screenshots of videos, by the way.
Yes, right.
These
He
are all-
says, "Message to all uni students getting ready for O week." This is, I don't know what to tell you. A bit weird.
Also, the description of that uni students one, the bottom says, "Every room has shadows," or "if I am in there." Are you? There's
This could
no
be a deep.
way.
It could be a deep level troll. It could be a deep troll.
Well, I don't think so. Some more context on that right post. If you look at the bottom, he's posting with another account. That is a sponsored post because that page paid to fly him to somewhere with a university so that he can be on the prowl. I'm not joking.
He's literally prowling the university grounds in the video.
Yes.
Dear Lord.
Insane.
What hath God wrought? Are we good?
Anything else on Divorce Dad 83?
I'll just say what irks me viscerally is just knowing that this every human male is capable of becoming this with just a few missteps.
That's topic for later. We'll talk about the island.
Well,
You're right.
Here's an interesting point of discussion. We would view this guy completely different if he was wealthy.
How do you know he's
he
not?
looked normal?
Or if he looked normal, yeah.
Yeah, what if he looked similar to Giga Chad and was prowling the university? I not think anything of it.
Much to think about. Very, yeah.
Are we good to move to our next?
Imagine desecrating yourself as a spectacle on social media just because you look weird and you're interested in young women.
I mean, I don't even know if I'd say he looks. I suppose he looks a bit weird, but if he dressed nicely and groomed himself, not that weird.
Yeah, it's the whole package.
Yeah,
the confluence.
If he just dressed normally, I'd probably think he looks like a normal 40-something-year-old man.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Being a bit unfair to Divorce Dad 83. I think we're good to move on to our next guy.
Oh, this is good. This is relevant.
Oh, I am really excited to talk about this guy. This is Tony the Greaser.
Did you know that around 40% of the U.S. population can barely read?
He's got a lot of followers. He's blown up a good bit.
Mm-hmm.
He, as his name suggests, he does a full LARP of the Greaser lifestyle.
Yeah.
He has a really cool old car to his credit. Yeah, no, he's that's exactly it.
He's John Travolta from Grease.
And he posts about how to be a greaser in that middle post there. He is showing you how to degrease your hair because I guess the product that you use to get that really coiffed look is probably pretty intense. So That video is him showing what he uses in the shower to get the grease out of his hair.
Wow.
What makes Tony the Greaser cringe is the post on the right here. He will occasionally post as if greasers are still real. And in this post, it's a screenshot of a video, but he starts the video by saying, names I've been called as a greaser. And as you can see here, he's got street rat, greaseball, riffraff, bum. Anyway, he's acting like people actually hate greasers, and he's like a persecuted class, as if it was the 1950s. He was a real greaser. It's very cringe. Very cringe. He acts like he has a target on his back. And he posts
a website.
constantly. Yeah, he's selling hair products and everything. I think he's making something out of this, which, good for him.
He also sells $15 confidence coaching sessions.
Something that's worth highlighting, though, with Tony the Greaser's posts is his audience interaction. Jamie, if you could hit the next slide here.
Just got my Hogify wrapped big tone. What the heck does that mean?
So, Tony, I was trying to find a picture that captured his build really well, but couldn't get a great picture. He's a big guy. Pants okay. Sometimes in his posts, his man boobs of sorts come through. And so the comments often refer to his big naturals and his hog.
Wow.
Because sometimes his pants are really tight and it looks like he's packing. So I'll read through some of the comments here. Just got my Hogify wrapped, Big Tone. You are my #1 hog star for the year with 17,348 greasy minutes. Can't sing enough praises about the way you blend hog and bee, hog and roll, and hip hog in your work. Masterful. And he reads all of his comments because most of his posts, you can see he's responding just by every comment. But these next two are what I find very funny about his posts. People comment as if he still holds the views of somebody from the 1950s. So in this middle post, he the post is how I rebel in modern times, and it's a video of him reading a Bible with his girlfriend or his wife or whatever. And so the top comment is, do you beat her before or after the videos?
Wow.
Middle comment, oh honey, I heard the worst day. You wouldn't believe who is using our water fountains again. Last comment, and what happens when she burns supper, Tone? I give my wife a milk sandwich. There's some other comments on the right here, poking fun at him. They were trying to vote again, were they, Tone?
Wow.
How dare they use the same bathroom as us? Am I right, Tone? What?
A good one also would be talking about running behind the DDT truck. But no one commented that. That's a good angle. I like this. I like this angle.
Yeah. This middle comment on the right, though, very interesting. Great slick fit, Tone. Making that hog extra aerodynamic for the big reveal. Stay greasy, friendo. And he responds, you never know, Cat. And I think that's getting at Tony the Greaser making an OnlyFans. I don't know. I can't imagine he would. I can't. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wow.
Making the hog extra aerodynamic for the big reveal. I think that's kind of antithetical to his whole thing. I don't know. I find the whole greaser thing that Tony does interesting because he constantly posts about not caring about what other people think and doing your own thing. But he's so obsessed with aesthetics that I find it a bit disingenuous.
Yeah, check out our 3-hour review of Grease for more insight into the greaser psychology. I don't know if
Yeah.
he's in line, but I think he's in line with the original greasers from the film, at least.
Love
Yeah,
to meet
no,
this guy in real life.
he looks the part. I would love to have him on the show. He seems like a pretty normal guy. I think he lives his own life.
I would say he seems akin to a normal guy.
Mm. I'd love to get his takes. I'd love to have him on the show and review that film about the black women that worked at NASA.
Yeah.
Probably not good, whatever it is.
What if he played a part? Yeah. Yeah, that'd be that'd be an
I
excellent.
think he'd have some big opinions on that movie.
Well, yeah.
I've got one more guy. Jamie, if you could flip to the next slide.
ARFID. I know you mentioned this in the group chat, but I've never heard of this, so I'm interested to learn about ARFID.
Yeah. It's actually two guys, but they're the same shtick. But yeah, I do really want to talk about this. So for our listeners that aren't aware, there's this new made-up disease called ARFID, or disorder. I put a snip in of the Google definition of it. It is a serious eating disorder characterized by extreme restrictive eating that limits the type or amount of food consumed, causing nutritional deficiencies, weight loss, or severe social impairment. So, based on that description, could you guys describe the build of somebody that might have ARFID? Like, what would you think they'd look like?
Malnourished, maybe. Very thin.
I was gonna say Christian. Yeah, I was gonna say Christian Bale in that one movie where he's really skinny.
Yeah, very good.
Or conversely, maybe I'll just say Christian Bale because on the one hand it could be that, on the other hand it could be the Dick Cheney Christian Bale build. I don't know.
That is very interesting. Jamie, if you could hit the next slide, we can look at our first ARFID guy.
More the Dick Cheney build.
Yeah. So this is Michael Vicario.
I have an extreme fear of trying new foods, and today we're trying cheese.
He is an ARFID adult trying to explain his journey battling this disorder. Yeah.
Wow.
So what strikes me?
Sorry, point of clarification. Is this somebody who growing up would only eat chicken fingers and pizza and then they need to learn to eat vegetables? Is that what this is?
That is basically what I think is happening here.
You think that's what's really going on, but they're dressing it up as something else?
Yes. Yeah.
I could see it.
Because I've watched a lot of this guy's videos, and when he talks about what he likes, he calls them chicken cutlets. He calls them chicken cutlets, but I think we know what that means. He likes
a chicken finger.
Chicken tendies.
Mm-hmm.
This is literally a guy who his parents never made him eat vegetables until it was too late.
Yes.
Too late. No veggies.
And I'll describe some of these videos. They're really embarrassing. I don't know how he or his family posts these, but the first one there, shopping with someone with ARFID. The video shows him in the grocery store. He's getting a bunch of processed garbage that he likes, and his wife and son, which is crazy.
Wow.
He was able to find somebody and procreate, but his wife and son have a whole separate shopping cart for meat, raw meat, vegetables, real food that is good for you, because he doesn't even want it touching his food in the shopping cart.
Crazy.
I will say I do have some sympathy for this guy. When I was little, I don't know what you were fed, but I was fed a lot of garbage that wasn't really food. And I could see it fucking up your taste buds and way of eating for your life. Imagine eating only vegetables. I mean, I was fed on peanut butter and jelly on white bread and a bunch of other fruit roll-ups and other disgusting shit, I do have some sympathy if you can't eat normally after that, because after the standard American diet.
It is partially not his fault. At the end of the day, he didn't choose what he ate as a child. But I got to imagine there's a period as a young adult where you can right the ship.
I suppose, but I think it's hard. It's hard.
It's hard. Oh yeah.
I think everyone's different. Some people are have more plasticity around those things. I could definitely. I mean, at the end of the day, you sort of are responsible for yourself because no one else is going to fix your problems. But I could see the standard American diet completely destroying the brains of a few percent of people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That gets to a greater point of if you can find it in your heart to sympathize with the ARFID guys, does that mean all of Taylor's people that he presented we could sympathize with?
Absolutely.
I got a real soft spot for JJZ. The one on the right over here that just says green beans, that video is talking about the worst things he's tried. And I included green beans because I think green beans are good. I think they're pretty like easy.
Yeah, they're generally easy to eat.
Yeah. That entire list is vegetables, basically. Green beans, I don't know. And the middle one, the middle video, eating food at Thanksgiving dinner for the first time in 33 years. That video absolutely blew my mind. If I was his mom or whoever is preparing Thanksgiving dinner, I would have smacked him upside the head for posting this. The video is him going through his family's Thanksgiving spread that obviously took a lot of effort. And he's like, yeah, this is just disgusting. I can't eat this. Or I'll pull open some tinfoil and he looks at it and goes, this is corn. I guess it's good. I don't like the texture. It's really icky.
I'm watching one of his videos right now, Taylor. You're right. It literally is just his wife getting meat and vegetables, and he's buying sugar cookies and American cheese slices and bananas.
I'm shocked he likes bananas. The comments really rip him to shreds, and I'm not going to beat this guy more than we've already beat him, but some of the comments are really brutal. I hope he reads them. He's only got 9,000 followers, so...
Only 9,000? I would kill for 9,000.
Dude, he's literally buying the most disgusting stuff. It's so ironic that you would have a restrictive... You have like a restrictive... I said like... a restrictive food disorder, but you're getting slices of American cheese and cheese-stuffed hot dogs and sugar cookies.
It's just standard American diet you're fed as a kid. I sympathize with this guy more than anyone else in this list. I do feel bad.
He's a victim of circumstance.
Like everyone, he's a victim of a time and a place. You're laughing at this. Well, not you in particular. People are laughing at this guy. Oh, you're so dumb because you were a victim of your time and place and eat the standard American diet. Yet your body's coursing with microplastics and you're going to die of dementia. So,
It's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, but this guy should just eat a fucking vegetable. It's not that big a deal.
I think at the end of the day, you're right. He does need to just eat a vegetable and meat. And also, I want to say, I think if you're a man and you are doing this food vlogger type stuff, that really this is only acceptable if you're a young woman. I think at the end of the day, no one wants to see a man food vlogging. So please stop. Thanks.
Hey, he's from South Jersey.
Yeah, look at him. He's in Phillies gear and Sixers gear.
He probably is from. I bet he's from.
He's probably not too far away from us.
What's the city on the Delaware Bay on the other side from Cape May that all the wackos live? Heard of the villas?
Wait, this guy's name's Mikey? When was there ever a more perfect time for this job?
Mikey, what do you want? You want a pizza pie?
That's good stuff.
What do you
Dude,
He probably
he
does want a
eats-
pizza pie.
He eats so many different things, but they're just all yummy junk food.
What do you?
He's eating mac and cheese, sour cream and onion chips, cheeseburger, pepperoni pizza, Chick-fil-A nuggets, chicken and cheese quesadilla, bacon, egg and cheese,
Wow.
Wendy's, turkey and cheese, steak.
What would Alan Watts say about this guy?
He eats big, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
Trying
Jamie,
kiwi
I've
for the
got
first time as a 33-year-old with ARFID.
I have a really embarrassing story about kiwi. That's the one that's fuzzy on the outside, right?
Yeah.
I tried to eat the outside because I didn't know how to eat kiwi.
That's fair. If no one ever told you about it,
I think
don't
I
it's
actually
crazy.
managed to eat part of it, but it was really honest.
Some of those people that post about being raw vegans, they will eat the skin. I think the skin's probably good for you. It's just
Talk about raw veganism. It's crazy.
Bro, he has one video trying pasta with gravy for the first time as a 33-year-old. How do you make it to 33 years old in New Jersey and you've never had pasta with red sauce?
That's wild.
that's crazy.
Possibly another deep troll.
Yeah, wait,
I
is this a
don't
troll?
know.
Are all these people?
I don't
Yeah, maybe
think
we'll
so.
do a recap on them at the end.
They
Yeah,
have
I don't
well, wait. Flip to the next slide. The next slide's a different guy, but the snips I included prove or show something a little different.
Mhm.
Wait, Taylor, this can't be real. I was wrong. All these foods he's eating, this is the first time. And one of them is cheeseburger. How do you not have a cheeseburger until 30?
Dude, he says he eats chicken cutlets all the time. That's all he likes to eat.
How do you make it to 33 years old without ever having a cheeseburger?
A young bull from South Jersey never had pasta or a burger.
And the steak one too. He's never had steak. This is him trying steak for the first time as a 33-year-old.
We might need to ask suspicious Gooby about this one.
Yeah,
There's
I don't
no
know.
way.
What do you think, Gooby? Maybe we'll let
There's
our
no
listeners. Our listeners.
Yeah, we can get some input from our listeners.
Is it fake? Is
One
it
of
real?
one of the reasons why I think these guys are being honest, and maybe they're really good actors. Maybe I don't think I could act this the way that this guy does. Arfid Andrew with 57,000 followers.
Hi, I'm Andrew. I've had a food.
He posts his full visceral response to the food that he tries. And in this one here, I tried to capture him trying a grapefruit. And he
Why is it
physically
black?
recoils and gags.
Huh.
I just asked because I'm so intrigued by this concept. How do you as a woman go on a date with this man and he tells you, I've never had a cheeseburger. I've never had pasta. I've never had, I'm just reading through all these. I've never had a buffalo chicken wing. I've never had a cherry. I've never had pineapple. I've never had bacon. I've never had a taco. I've never had a meatball.
To this
I've
guy's
never had
credit,
mac and cheese.
To this guy's credit, though, the first guy, Mikey V or whatever, when he tries something, a lot of the times he doesn't even get it in his mouth. He can't even do it. So
Dude.
maybe
There's just no way. This
Arfid
one
Andrew
he's saying
at
he's
least
never had
tries them.
cereal. This one he's saying he's never had cereal.
Okay, that's kind of crazy.
But again,
I think
as a woman, how do you get past the first date and be like, but how do you get past the first date and say to yourself, I can get past this, I'm going to marry this guy?
what would a first date even be with a guy with Arfid? I feel most first
Not at
dates
a
are-
restaurant. Not at a restaurant.
Can't go to a restaurant. I bet these guys don't like coffee. Probably too much
Oh.
for them. What do you even do? You just go and sit in a park, I guess? I don't know.
Probably just watch.
Alcohol? Do these guys? You think these guys drink alcohol?
No, they probably only drink soda.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, people probably can find. Maybe you go bowling. I don't know. I don't know how couples meet, man.
Yeah, but then you go bowling, and she's like, "Do you want one of my French fries?" And he says, "I've never had a French fry."
What did you say?
You go bowling, and then she says, "Do you want one of my French fries?" And he says,
Nice.
I've actually never had a French fry."
Nice. Yeah.
I've actually never had a French fry, and that looks disgusting, and I will not eat it.
Well, maybe some women, it's sort of, they're going on a new adventure with them. Every food is a new frontier.
That's a good point. If it's the type of woman that really wants to be a caretaker, maybe the Arfid guy really.
Alma.
Exactly. That's that type of guy.
You think this affects their sex life?
I can think of one thing they wouldn't want to eat.
It's like, I have never eaten that. I'm 33 years old and I have never eaten that.
I was gonna make that joke.
Oh my god,
too vulgar.
That's really good, Trav. Really good. Well, that's it for my show today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, this is an area of great interest for me. I love finding these guys.
This is good stuff.
Thank you for the presentation.
I'd love to hear your thoughts on the whole, though.
I find it very interesting, and I'm not tapped into cringe, so it is interesting. Here are my questions. I think the main question we sort of addressed already is: are they trolling or is this real? I don't know if there's any way to know. I can't know inside their minds, so maybe we'll let people discern that. My question is: suppose for the ones that are real, maybe before the ARFID guys, why are so many people crazy, and why does it resonate with so many?
Well, I mean, to the resonate point, I think I kind of hit at it earlier that I think we all know deep down that we're only 1 or 2 steps away from this.
True.
Yeah, I mean, you could walk out of your house tomorrow and somebody could hit you over the head with a brick, and all of a sudden you're really not that different from Jay Jeezy.
Well, what's more, some could pull our show on John Travolta up and say, "Look at these insane guys. Their minds are broken. They're reviewing endless Travolta movies and having an awards show."
That's true.
So
that's a great point.
That is true.
I will say I was hit in my head multiple times very hard as a child. So
really?
Yeah. I remember I got hit
somewhere
when I was 4. I got hit with a pop. I was watching a baseball game, not a professional one, and there was a pop fly with a ball, and it came down and hit me right in the head.
Oof.
And then I got hit on a counter, I think, also. So I guess that's how you come up with the idea to review every John Travolta movie.
Somewhere there's a podcast with a bunch of guys that are way more Chad than we are. They're like, "Look at these fucking nerds."
But Joe Rogan's gonna pull us. I'd take the publicity if Rogan pulls this up. Here's my next question, which I sort of hinted at. Why? How is it that these people have tens of thousands of followers, yet no one listens to our show? I think we do need to get on that Instagram pipeline, because
we would just need more clickbait. Like, oh shit, do we need more?
Yeah, I think we're gonna buy
such as I never ate cereal.
I think we're gonna buy the Instagram TikTok thing that uploads shorts automatically, because this is insane, man.
He also saying he was diagnosed with high blood pressure at 12.
Everyone has high blood pressure in America. Why do you personally enjoy this, Taylor? Why aren't you reading philosophy or something instead?
Or playing World of Warcraft.
Yeah, why aren't you living in our World of Warcraft house?
Have you guys ever been driving on a highway and you see a really bad car crash?
Yes.
And
so you're attracted to the spectacle and the morbid curiosity.
Yeah, and you shouldn't look at it because you're driving, and if you look at it for too long, the cars in front of you might stop and you might rear end somebody. But it's so fascinating that these guys exist. You see a car on the side of the road that's on fire. How did that happen? I think I have the same questions about a lot of these guys.
Do you think the abyss is going to stare back into you though, and you'll start eating only Skippy and dressing as a furry?
You could say it already has, because I'm a podcaster.
It's very true.
So true. So true.
I'm picturing an alternate. I'm picturing another podcast where the podcast is reviewing other podcasts that are whack, and then they're saying, "Look at this one. They've had zero views and have reviewed 12 John Travolta movies, and they're doing a John Travolta award show and screaming into the void."
But I think though that hints at a problem with social media on the whole. Though, going back to my previous classification, genuine content, I feel the average person may struggle to engage with because they feel the need to justify their interests. And maybe somebody would stumble upon our account and they would look at our page and see that we do podcasts about movies, and maybe they'd think, oh, this is neat, but we have one follower on Instagram. They don't want to be the second follower. They don't want to be one of 2 followers on Instagram. That's lame. That puts them in a really small group.
Yeah.
But that's a people thing, you know. Nobody wants to be. People need community, and they want their interests to validate their need for community.
So fucking
That's true.
deep.
I would just remember that the masses are imbeciles. They are lemmings. They will all follow each other off a cliff. They will all drink out of takeaway cups and ingest microplastics. They will all get cancer and dementia. They will all rot their brains on TikTok and die. So be an early adopter. I got some complaints from one of my friends. I will not dox anybody, but they said, "Nick, I like what you're doing, but the show's too damn long. Why are you reviewing movies for 3 hours? Can't it be 45 minutes? What do we think of that? Do you think we should cut the show down to 45 minutes?
I mean, couldn't they
think
just
even
listen
if
for 45 minutes and then turn it off?
Yes.
I think even if I wanted to, I don't know how we could. I don't want to, but especially when there's
every episode up into 4 parts.
That doesn't seem good either.
No.
I think the original vision was a free-flowing, long-form discussion about whatever we wanted, and short form, I think, is bad for your brain.
It's true.
You know what my response to that is? Sorry, go ahead, Taylor. You should.
I was just gonna say we were meant to sit around in a circle and talk for hours. That's
That is literally what humans evolved as, was sitting out in caves or the plains and looking at sunsets and talking for hours around a fire. So
that's how we figure things out and progress as a group. So I think if anybody that advocates for that is advocating for us to go against our nature.
Guess what? You don't sit down to play World of Warcraft for 45 minutes.
So
that's all I'm gonna say.
Amen, brother. Amen. Jeffrey Epstein. The Epstein files, I think, have been in the news recently. I don't watch the news, though, and I actually did no research on the Epstein files because I'm not too concerned about the particular names and faces that were involved. I think it could very well be a lot of AI-generated slop, misinformation. I know I saw one post going around saying Elon was saying "girls for the win." I think that was fake. So
I think it was real.
was that real?
No, I sent that in the group chat, and then I saw on Twitter the next day that was fake.
Yeah, so it's
I was spreading disinformation.
Yeah, so how do you
react to that in the group
Nah,
chat?
that's so real.
I could see it being real. But how do you
Unfortunately, we're in the time where saying something's AI could just be cover for it being real. You have no way to know.
Yeah, you have no. I think we can say for certain that high power people went to the island and got up to no good. But as for who in particular, it's just I don't know. It feels like it's a crapshoot. I also know I said like. So I will. The way I wanted to structure this discussion was more high level questions about the overall phenomenon, as we've been sort of in the midst of Epstein for many years now. So you for our audio listeners, we have a few images here. I repurposed a road trip slideshow from a trip to California about the Epstein Island. You can see the blue and white cube, little St. James, I think it's called, and some other place. I'm not too sure what that is. So I will say Epstein, probably my second favorite character on Welcome Back, Kotter. I don't know if you guys saw those clips of Epstein, but he says you're a bad Vinnie Barbarino.
Well, that's a bad Vinnie Barbarino. You're bad. You're bad.
Wait, what?
Were you not watch Welcome Back, Kotter?
I have no idea what this is or who or who this is.
This was John Travolta's big break. Was Welcome Back, Kotter? It was a TV show from the 70s, and there was a character named Epstein on it.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Unrelated.
So, yeah, they share the same name. I just find it amusing. So, getting into our discussion, each slide is sort of a question I'd like to pose. So I'll start with you, Travis.
Yeah.
What does Jeffrey Epstein mean to you?
He, to me, represents a specific class of people that up until the Epstein story and subsequent files was something of a fictionalized phenomenon, but now I think we can all see with our own eyes that it's something more tangible and real.
Mm-hmm. Did you know about Epstein before all the news broke?
I mean, I've been listening. I don't know. I mean, how long is this? I've been following it since it was originally a news story. Whenever that was 5. Mm-hmm. Who even knows when did the first Epstein story come out?
He allegedly killed himself 6 years ago in 2019.
I mean, I was following him well before he killed himself.
Yeah. Where did you hear about him? Because I heard about him too. I think not that I was a regular Alex Jones listener, but I definitely saw a few clips circulating talking about the Lolita Express and stuff, and everyone thought it was crazy talk. And it seemed sort of plausible to me at that point, but everyone just dismissed it.
I think I was first introduced to a news podcast I listened to when I was in college.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I remember I listened to all this stuff about him getting arrested and all that well before he actually got suicided in his cell.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Taylor, what does Jeffrey Epstein mean to you?
Well, in terms of what he means or represents, I don't think I can say that. But my first exposure to him, I think there was a Netflix documentary, which in retrospect I don't know how it got put on Netflix, given the individuals implicated. And I remember thinking, this is insane. I don't know. I had no real context for it before I watched this random Netflix documentary. And at the time I thought, this is going to take down so many people. There's going to be so many arrests.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see all the big names that are implicated in this and what the consequences are. This could be a real turning point for society if the spread of the people that are implicated branch through all types of political and cultural groups.
You thought a Netflix documentary was going to open the floodgates for a purging of corruption.
They did.
That may have been a bit foolish.
I think so too. I think it was very foolish.
So it looks like, based on some Google searching here, it looks like summer of 2019 is when it actually started to kind of become more of a news story.
Yes.
So it's been 7 years at this point now.
Feel old yet?
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
7 years.
That was when he committed suicide, but I'm sure that months and months before that, there were news stories coming out.
I heard about it years before.
Yeah.
I saw clips of Alex Jones talking about it years before, but hard to say what of that is. There's still not much. Well, I haven't read the files, but there's still not much hard to write proof. Maybe there is, but even back in the day, it was, for example, a flight log. What does that actually prove? Sort of the implication of it all. Yeah, to me, Jeffrey Epstein, I remember he sort of reminds me of better times. I was a young intern, and I remember listening to a lot of podcasts, and I heard that he was suicided on a podcast, and I thought it was hilarious because it really just, it was any pretense that we live in a real society was gone when the number one criminal in the world was left in a cell alone to be suicided.
James Patterson wrote a book in 2016 called Filthy Rich, A Powerful Billionaire, The Sex Scandal That Undid Him, and All the Justice That Money Can Buy, The Shocking True Story of Jeffrey Epstein. That was 2016. Also, why is James Patterson writing books about Jeffrey Epstein?
Well, he's ghostwriting.
Yeah, his team of 30 people are writing books about Epstein.
Yes, they're writing books. Well, that's interesting. Let's move on. One man, 1,000+ victims, 0 clients, I think is the latest. Has there been any confirmed?
He was
Taylor,
a busy guy.
Taylor, can you think of any clients that were confirmed and have been thrown in jail?
No, interestingly. It's just all these victims, but
weird.
Much to think about.
Yeah, I remember, I think I saw Pam Bondi or whatever his name came out and said there were no victims, yet thousands of videos of abuse, but no people doing the abusing. Is really weird stuff. I don't know what to make of it. Anyway, moving on. So New York, 6:39 a.m. I forget the date. What do you think happened here? Do you think he actually killed himself? Do you think his cellmate did it? Do you think it was a hitman? Give me your best guess.
I think it was a hitman, probably.
Hitman?
The video cameras weren't working, right?
The video cameras went down and the guards fell asleep.
These flashlight guards are too tough to fight head on. Crawl under the tables to sneak around him.
I mean, that's literally a Sly Cooper or Uncharted video game.
It's literally the guards from Sly Cooper when they get sleepy and their flashlights go down. You remember that?
Yeah. Or
The
Pirates of the
guards
Caribbean.
the guards can only see you if you're in their flashlight cone. So
Yes, I was sneaking under the table with a towel or whatever he killed Epstein with. Unbelievable.
do you guys remember when they shared the video from Epstein's cell? Like the DOJ posted that to prove that nobody else went in there, or just to show the full thing. And somebody was able to like scrape the metadata of the video to see that they trimmed like 5 minutes out of it.
I did not see that, but
Yeah,
I believe it.
I also heard in the newest files that got released, there was a bunch of stuff in there about how that summer he was working with prosecutors to potentially have some sort of deal, which further, speaks to the motive piece.
Yeah. Taylor, what do you think? What's your prediction? Well, I guess prediction's not the right word, but what do you think happened?
I think he was moved somewhere that he would be safe.
You think he's alive?
Oh, he's still alive?
Yeah.
I suspect this too. I'm not 100% on it, but I mean, if they're willing to say the guards fell asleep and he was killed, who's to say they didn't just let him out the back door?
Have you all seen the Fortnite angle?
Dude, like who? Well,
yeah, I've seen that.
Was the body open casket at the funeral? And also, who's to say they can't just make a fake body?
So I'm Googling, did he have a funeral? Moreover, I wonder if
Like, you could
anybody
just-
went to the funeral.
I was gonna say you could probably shut the whole Epstein thing down if you just did that whole funeral.
Very
he also
spicy
had-
for the podcast, but possibly.
He'd also just changed his will.
Is that similar to how the guy that owned the Twin Towers got the big insurance policy before 9/11? All right, so 1 vote for Hitman, 1 vote for Alive.
He was cremated.
Yeah, that dude's still alive.
That's bullshit.
There's no body.
They found a stray dog in an alley and they cremated that, and that's what's in whatever urn he is allegedly in.
I'm sorry, you can't find anything. Similar to how they allegedly threw Bin Laden's body off a ship. Weird how these
Very
people
weird.
disappear. Yeah, well.
Oh wait, Nick, have you heard the Fortnite thing?
What's the Fortnite thing?
It's really interesting. And again, like you said, we have no idea what is real and what isn't. But if you suspend your disbelief a bit, it's pretty fascinating. And if you think about what...
I'll entertain whatever.
Sure. If you think about what a guy might be doing with his time that is alive and can't show his face, you might expect the guy to be something of a gamer.
If I say I'm a gamer, then you will agree. This is my partner, Ghislaine.
Somebody found in the file somewhere, I don't know if it was a receipt for V-Bucks or if it was his YouTube username. I think it was his YouTube username. It was like Littlest Jeff 1 or something. And then they started looking for that
him on
username.
Fortnite?
Well, yeah, there's a Fortnite account with activity like for the last like 6 or 7 years under that Littlest Jeff 1.
I'm willing to entertain it. I'm willing to entertain
ranked ladder for not just Fortnite, but also like Rocket League and some of the other games that have like not publicly accessible ranked ladders, so to show your activity.
I mean, what else would you do?
Yeah,
I guess you could get plastic surgery to distort your face enough, but I'd probably just play Fortnite. I don't know.
What's really interesting is on Twitter, the actual Fortnite account responded to one of the tweets and said that it was misinformation. And it got community noted and said no, because the Fortnite account was like, this is,
Yeah.
the Fortnite account said, this is an account that changed its name, so it looks like there's old activity, but the community, I don't remember how they were able to basically say that that's wrong. It was a bit above my technical understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds, from what I can tell, in my
Yeah.
limited understanding, it seems like there could be some truth to it, but I don't know. Like I said, though, if you're dead and you can't go outside, and I mean, he's still probably working.
I mean, what if
he's still running something, but he can't. If you couldn't go outside,
Yeah.
but for limited circumstances, I mean, you'd be gaming all the time.
I could see it. I don't want to say I'm fully convinced, but I could see it. I mean, if they're willing to
think
say
it's
that,
plausible.
yeah, if they're willing to say that the guards fell asleep and the camera went off and he killed himself, I don't think it's that far off to literally have the guy just be playing on his Fortnite account. So
I don't know if Jamie wants to pull it up, but I found a picture of a sighting of him.
I did see there was an alleged Epstein sighting. Is Jeffrey Epstein? It does look like him. I don't know if this is. They'll probably say it's fake.
I found another
That's
one.
the thing. Somebody could say that's AI, and maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
This one looks really good, actually. This one's...
Yeah, Jamie, get this one up.
How do you think he made it to?
Epstein's an urban legend now. I mean, I will say though, I remember when Trump was running in 2016, he said I could shoot someone in Fifth Avenue and get away with it. What if Jeffrey Epstein did just walk down the streets of Manhattan or Brooklyn? Would anything actually happen?
Can you imagine if he came back alive?
I could see it. I could really see it.
So that's a really interesting point, Nick. I think now he's a face that's etched in all of our minds, but if you saw him in 2017 or whenever it was, I don't think many people really knew about him. I think he probably could have moved through the streets.
But who would actually do anything in modern day if they saw Jeffrey Epstein? Because you could say, I'm going to. Someone could think they would rough him up, but you're going to go to jail. So who's going to actually do anything?
Also, if you called the police and reported that you saw Jeffrey Epstein, I think the secret Palantir explosive that's in your phone would just turn your head into like a water balloon.
I mean, are you going to call the federal government? You're going to call Trump?
I'm going to call the federal government on the guy that's supplying the federal government with.
All right. Well, I think this is good on this slide. Yeah, listeners, let us know what you think in the comments. All right, my next question. Why don't you start us off, Taylor? What is wrong with humanity?
Wow. I think it starts with not humanity, but I think this is just a natural course of what happens in a society where people are able to accumulate so much wealth and power that simple pleasures no longer provide anything to them.
Their dopamine's all fried, you think?
Yeah, and I was having this conversation with somebody, not this conversation, but and I think this also kind of gets to something. When I was in high school, I thought the idea of smoking weed was really cool.
Okay.
Because it wasn't allowed.
I see.
Now, I think of people that smoke weed as kind of losers. Not that I'm anti-weed. I get it. Some people.
You've watched enough Huberman to know the neurological dangers.
Yeah, and I think that's part of it. Once you get to that level, that echelon of society, where you can realistically, let's say Epstein wanted to go 185 miles per hour down the highway in his supercar. He could get pulled over and hand the police officer $50,000, and I think that police officer would just walk away. I don't think there's anything illegal for you to really do at that point, when breaking laws is just a fine. So I think when you're at this echelon of society, it just, what else is there for you to derive pleasure from? And you just become a disgusting cretin that looks for the most wicked, horrible things, because that's all that's left.
Makes sense to me.
Remember how in high school there'd be a group of, say, popular kids, and Susie would know that Johnny was
just use Danny and Cindy.
That Danny was hooking up with Cindy, but Danny was also hooking up with Early. So, and then another person would know that. And then they'd have leverage over them because they'd know the secret.
Leverage.
And then there'd be power dynamics there. And then it's kind of like then there's a bond there where Tommy knows that Danny is hooking up with multiple people.
Yeah.
So now Danny and Tommy are closer. Unfortunately, I think that this is just kind of how people are.
How does this relate to Epstein, though? What's the connection?
Well, the connection is, this is just if the world is a high school, this is just the popular kids of the world.
So this is similar to how the popular kids would get up to maybe more, I don't know if illicit is, let's say illicit activities early on, be naughty, and everyone would know about it. You think this is just that on a macro scale?
Yes, this is the elite tier of that taken to its extreme. I don't think it's that much different than something you would encounter at more of a micro level, like I just described, because ultimately this is Jeffrey knows that Bill was with this person and therefore has leverage over Bill, and somebody else needs Bill to do something for them, and that someone, Jeffrey knows about them, so he can get them together, and they all know bad stuff about each other, so it's like a death cult.
Do you think it's similar to the Cyclos?
Yes, and I actually wanted to bring that up because I was thinking, I was listening to a lot of podcasts about the Epstein stuff this week, and I was thinking about how it's this very similar to the Battlefield Earth alien ethos, all this stuff about leverage, and it's not even about doing anything good or producing anything good in their society. It's just about having leverage over other powerful people. But anyway, it's a little depressing to say, but I think this really is just popularity taken to its final destination, I guess. I don't know. Its final iteration.
Also, are you sort of adjusting your microphone? I feel like I can hear it tapping on a microphone or moving around. So if either of you,
okay, moving it.
Just okay. Yeah, I think that's a good analysis. Me personally, I don't know. It seems that mankind is just never satisfied. And
something else. I forget, Travis said something that reminded me of this, but Have you guys ever heard of that company?
Palantir.
I couldn't tell you what the name of it is, but the gist of it is they have ships that look like cargo ships, and they will drive these ships around the Somali coast. And really, the ship is loaded with like I don't know the correct term, but those guns that you can sit in. They have, yeah. They're, you can get on there with all this firepower, and this company charges, I don't know, $50,000 or whatever, something crazy, for you to be the gun. Basically, they'll pilot the ship, and you just get to gun down the pirates that come and chase the ship. And there's no real purpose other than just to murder pirates.
Mm-hmm. I've seen this. Yes, legalized murder.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, this isn't me saying. This isn't me speaking from a holier than thou point of view. I really don't think. But I don't know about you guys, but I have plenty of things in my life that you would think would get old. Say playing World of Warcraft.
Manaforge rating.
Just because I've played a lot of World of Warcraft doesn't mean I get tired of it, and then I get into sex trafficking and Eyes Wide Shut mask parties. So I really think that this is a smaller subset of people, because not everyone is like this.
I would say probably most people are like this.
You think so? Most people just go through their lives and don't do anything crazy.
I think if they had the power, most people would be like this.
You could, even if you don't have that many resources, you could still get into depravity and weirdness, even as somebody who doesn't have a lot of resources.
I think people love depravity and weirdness. Have you seen what's popular on X? It's just people dying.
Yeah, I guess. I'm just thinking about most people aren't going to swingers parties and doing.
I suppose that's taking it to the next level.
I'm talking about this level of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and you don't have to have a lot of resources to do weird shit like this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I won't dox, but I've heard of people who just when they retire, they take their retirement savings and go to the Philippines and shack up with what in America would be underage kids, and you can be middle class and get into horrible shit like that.
I suppose I'm not talking about.
Most people don't.
I'm not talking about the sex trafficking in in particular. I mean, I think it's just. I think most people are sort of depraved, even if they don't take it to this level. But I do get what you're saying. I think it is a certain strain of person that takes the trafficking and.
Because I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at this from a little naively, but I see most people in the world as just W-2 workers who are going about their day to day, and maybe every now and then there's some weird shit they're getting into. But relatively speaking, it's not anything like this. They just do their 9 to 5 and watch football on the weekends and whatever, or just vibing and playing World of Warcraft in their free time or whatever. That's how I see most people.
I guess that gets to a bigger question on our humanity. Mm-hmm. I mean, it sounds like, Travis, you see. I don't know if see the good in people is the right way to say it, but you give people the benefit of the doubt when it comes to their innocence. But it sounds like Nick and I kind of assume there is to some extent, maybe not to the Epstein level, but maybe on a smaller scale, everybody has at least something that is, I guess you would say, a certain like darkness to their soul.
Yeah.
Maybe
No, I
they're
mean,
not
I
going
agree. I mean, I
they're not
agree
going
that's
as far
there.
as this, but maybe they just, are doing something weird. Maybe they're not that like swinger parties are illegal, but it's weird.
Maybe this is cope for me being more of a normie, but I guess I just see it more in terms of an us and them, where you have a general proletariat. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but a larger group of people who are, for the most part, normal. And then you have this small world elite popular clique that are not normal. I don't know.
I would see it. I think it's a gradient. I do think people at their core are wicked. I mean, think for example this. I eat meat, yet I know what goes into it. Animals are basically tortured to death for me to eat a burger, and most people are fine with that. So most people watch people dying on X. It has millions of views. So I mean,
Yeah, I mean that's how every species in the planet is in some way benefiting from the destruction of another species. That's just the food webs.
Well, I would say it's just all just baked in then, because I mean you could say the drive of these men to go rape these underage girls is the reproductive urge, just with more resources.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just like to believe that most people, again, even I think most people would have the resources to do something like this if they wanted to, but they don't.
I think it's a fair point. Let's move on to the next topic. What do your loved ones think of Epstein?
Everybody's kind of on the same page now. I think it's funny. You late 20 teens. You used to be. Epstein stuff was kind of in the same realm as QAnon and moon landing and aliens, but now I think pretty much everybody that I know, I would say pretty much everybody I know does not think that he killed himself and considers it an indictment on everybody who's in power. I think everybody's pretty much on the same page about it that I know.
I personally, from talking to people in my life, at least family members, are very politicized about it, because if I bring it up and say, "Oh, well, Trump was Epstein's best friend," they say, "Yeah, but Bill Clinton is in those files," and vice versa. If you were to go up to a lib, they would say, "Oh, well, the Republicans don't want to release it because they're in the files." Do you get that dynamic at all?
Yeah, I get that. I get that sometimes.
I definitely see that dynamic a good bit because
I think that's just because people are just so preconditioned to do whataboutism because everybody's just so politicized about everything.
Yes.
For instance, if somebody said such and AOC wants to take your guns, somebody would just immediately just clap back and be like, "Oh, well, Donald said that Alex Preddy we should have taken his gun, and that these protesters shouldn't have guns." So everybody's just so preconditioned to do the whataboutism about everything.
That's a good point. Maybe we can table this because I have another question later that will relate.
I have a broader discussion point. We can get to we can save it for the end, but I think Travis is kind of hitting on what I'm thinking.
Okay. Well, if it doesn't get covered in the presentation, we can discuss it at the end. All right. Moving on to the next question. What was Jeffrey Epstein's end game? Now, your options include socialization and amusement, or evil. Your options do not include the state of Agartha. Taylor, what do you think's going on here?
I'm gonna have to go evil.
Okay.
And to Travis's point, getting some leverage over people so that he can work his dealings. But
Makes
I think
sense.
the core of it is some evil.
Do you think he
Deriving pleasure
enjoys?
from evil?
Do you think he enjoys the cruelty of it?
Absolutely. I think the cruelty is the point.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what was happening in the blue and white cube.
Mm.
We may never know. Travis, what do you think for this one?
I think the end game was just leverage for leverage's sake. I think he just enjoyed having the leverage to be able to get more leverage.
Yeah. He's really a cycler. I remember hearing that he had just cameras everywhere in his mansion and his plane and island. So,
You know, there's some weird stuff too where he was into trying to put this I'm trying to put this in a certain way. He was interested in genetic superiority of certain groups.
I've definitely heard he was into genetics. I remember hearing that when he would try and recruit girls to the island, he would try and ask if they had good grades, and he would read a lot. Yeah, but it's interesting because
that's crazy.
But to my knowledge, was he actually breeding?
Were you qualified?
But was he breeding?
No, I think I actually heard that it was he would research the girls to make sure if they were what he deemed to be genetically inferior, it didn't count that they were being abused. They were less than.
But I thought he wanted. So he was selecting for inferior. I thought he was looking for good genetic stock.
But it wasn't about. You said it yourself. It wasn't about breeding.
But okay, so he goes up and asks the girl, "Do you have a high IQ?" You're saying he doesn't pick those ones?
I'm saying that I think the rest of this content would have to be behind a paywall. I don't know how to keep going.
I'll jump in to save you guys here. I read, and again, we don't know what's true, what's real, but there was, in one of the file drops, there was a translated diary from one of the girls on the island that the long and short of her diary was that she was kept around to have kids for them.
I just never heard about that, but I don't understand. I could see it happening. I just know he was so interested in genetics, and it just seems all that not to do some kind of breeding program seems very strange to me. I don't know. Maybe we don't know the full picture. We only know about one island. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll leave the rest behind the paywall. Let's move on to the next question. All right, we have sort of ties to the earlier topics, but I have a question. Will the species ever learn? Will we ever get past all this? Either. My vote's no.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Travis,
I'll take the
optimistic.
I'll take the devil's advocate, more optimistic point of view again. I think we've been trending in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Some could say.
This is like that lame JSA debate that they'd have at every convention that was like, does the arc of humanity bend towards justice?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I would say that we're generally more civilized than we used to be in terms of reducing the amount of human suffering and barbarism. And
but has anyone actually, sorry to interrupt, but has anyone actually been arrested for this?
No, I'm just saying that I think the arc of history hopefully bends a little bit more towards the good side of humanity's nature.
Mm-hmm.
I think of blood. I think of Blood Meridian. It's not when you're driving from Phoenix to Las Vegas. It's not Blood Meridian anymore.
I might say it's Blood Meridian in a different way.
I don't know. I mean, there's not
It's people drinking and eating poison. So
yeah, there's not roving bands of Cherokee Indians who are gonna wear your skin and murder you as you're driving through the national parks.
Mm-hmm.
I guess is my point. And I think we've generally been trending in the right direction.
That's a fair point. But it also could just be a consequence of larger government structure. I think at the end of the day, people are still eating plastic and being advertised to poison themselves, and take heroin. So I don't know, but maybe. Oh, Taylor, you said no. What do you? Anything to add on this?
Not much to add, but I think you're you kind of touched on my feelings on it earlier when you said, "Has anybody been arrested?" I don't think. Two things, I guess. I don't think anybody's going to be arrested and held accountable. If they do find a fall guy, I think that's exactly what it's going to be. It's a fall guy, so that they can say that they put a bow on this whole thing.
Epstein himself is sort of the fall guy, right? He abused all these people.
Is there a movie with Ryan Gosling called The Fall Guy?
Oh, no, I think you're thinking of the video game Fall Guys.
Oh. No, I'm thinking of the Gray Man.
Oh. Did anyone? That looked like a stinker. I don't know if you watched it.
No, I did not.
All right. Well,
but cool. I think the other part of it though is I don't know where you draw the line on when you could say this really started, but I feel, at least since COVID, that if you try to expose yourself to current events and try to be aware of things going on, it's just a constant deluge of horrible things and like maybe to some degree existential problems in the world. And I think that is very purposeful, because I think they want us primed to just be so overwhelmed that. That's a great question, Travis.
What was Travis's question? It sort of didn't. I didn't hear it.
I said, "Who's they?"
Oh, Agartha.
But that's my other piece. I don't think that we will learn, and I don't know if we can, because I don't think our brains are capable of reckoning with that.
All right. Well, I think this is my last question next. So I have up on the slide, does anybody actually care?
Yeah, this is a tough one because I find myself caring less and less.
Are you? Your elites
that's the point,
are.
Though.
What were you gonna say, Nick?
I was just gonna say your elites literally go and rape underage girls, and people aren't out in the streets. People are just playing. Well, myself,
I saw
World of Warcraft.
The reaction in England I saw has been pretty bad. I saw the Prime Minister might get ousted for it.
Yeah, this is a very provocative question, and I actually would say sort of. I do think some people sort of care, but I think a lot of people really don't. But it's also the people that care. What can you actually do? Not too much.
I think generally, people have, as a whole, cared more and more as time has gone on, but that isn't reflected for me personally, because I've felt myself caring less and less. I've felt myself getting apathetic about it.
You would drive yourself insane if you cared more and more, I think.
Yeah, it's partially your body or your brain protecting yourself from absolutely losing your mind.
At a certain point, it just gets to be I mean, I've got. So are there people who are taking advantage and exploiting the system and et cetera, et cetera? Yes, but I've got everything I need, and there's only so much anger that I can let myself have about it. At a certain point, I just got to play the Mana Forge Omega. And
You're angry for Blizzard.
That gets to a broader question, though, is like maybe if we were less comfortable, we would be out in the streets. But we have our video games and enough food to get by, and our jobs are good.
Yeah, you have social media, air conditioning.
Yeah, I can go look at the ARFID guys and laugh at them, and then just
I
shave brain cells off.
I mean, all three of us personally have more than 99.9% of any human who's ever lived. So it's tough to really want to care very much when you're so content.
Yeah, let's say you got really fired up about Epstein tomorrow. You had a new wave of passion about it. What would you? Well, actually, I'm not going to answer that question. Anyway, yeah, I think.
Are you gonna ask what would I do?
Yeah, I can't ask.
If I had are you asking if I had a magic wand?
No, I'm asking with your circumstances. You
with my
violent plane, so you could
probably podcast about it for a few hours.
I could start a new podcast and devote all my resources to bringing the truth to light.
Yeah. Yeah, our 5 listeners are good.
Yeah, really galvanize the base.
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, you get yours, and if you were to get really upset over every injustice in the world, you would drive yourself completely insane. So
yeah,
how can you actually?
If you were confronted with the 2 pills, and the one pill was bring
pill's just
justice.
So scrumptious.
Bring justice to the situation, and the other pill was keep cashing that 6-figure salary.
Yeah.
Which pill you eating?
Mm-hmm. That's what I mean. People are just wicked. They want comfort. Maybe there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know. It's a hard decision. Anyway, I want to shout out Analog Coffee. I went to this coffee shop in Seattle. I think I was talking about it on the podcast last week. I did mention there are occasional homeless people that dwell outside, but pretty good coffee. They actually they make you the coffee as you order it. So by the time you're checking out with payment, you have your cup of coffee. So no awkward situations where you're waiting for coffee. You're not sure whose orders who. It simply streamlines the process.
I do notice, Nick, that it's a very similar setting to Freddy's Cafe.
It is quite similar.
Subconsciously, that's some of your love for it.
I think so. They do have some knickknacks on the wall, so I think that contributes to it. But also, I've been going out trying different coffee places on the weekends. This place, their lattes aren't too milky. I tried another place that was pretty popular, but the latte was just too milky and frothy. This you really get the hit of the actual coffee. And they put the little swirlies in it.
Nice.
Check it out if you're in the Pacific Northwest.
We are Jeffrey Epstein. We carry the flame. We'll fight for the island. We'll honor his name. We are Jeffrey Epstein. His courage our own. Together unbroken, we'll make Daddy come. A husband anew, his little kids held near. A home built on sodomy and women in fear. The world tried to silence, but his files remains. And Diddy, he'll live forever again. We are Jeffrey Epstein. We carry the flame. We'll fight for the island. We'll honor his name. We are Jeffrey Epstein. His courage our
have you ever seen someone die? When they die, their spirit leaves.
Their soul leaves, no question. So in
There's
fact,
no question to you.
No question.
There's no question to you that there is some animating life force within us that leaves when you're dead.
Yes, in fact, I refer to the soul. There's obviously a certain the questions in the past, even
because
during
people would normally think you were soulless. So
thank you.
Jeffrey Epstein, in the island we will rise.
Hello, children. This is Dante Triple Stash Monte Leone speaking to you from beyond the grave. I went out California way in search of some highfalutin crypto stocks and potent protein gel, but all I found was a pair of bad sneakers and my ultimate demise at the bottom of a pina colada bottle. Graciously, Michael has granted me this brief reprieve from having my exposed brain relentlessly gnawed on by Henry Kissinger to bring you a fable of divine devotion, the tale of two Dans. Now, you fellas are already familiar with this first Dan, surnamed Plainview, who plundered fertile pastures for liquid gold, along with his sacred calf H.W., persevering through tribulations to achieve his dream of owning an indoor bowling alley. This second, Dan followed a familiar path to the first. Except this Dan didn't deal in oil. This Dan cut his teeth on certified platinum steel. Just as Plainview and H.W. sucked America's greasy underbelly dry, this Dan, a duo in tune, usurped their spoils from the American psyche, crafting infectious concoctions of lyrical sorcery under the ever-infamous name Steely Dan. Colloquially known as Donald Fagen and Walter Becker, these two were ruthless in their pursuit of harmonic perfection, hypnotizing hippies and boomers with their neo-jazz riffs and slick phrasing spliffs. By the end of their run, there wasn't a dried-out stripper in Vegas or coked-out lawyer in Tucson who hadn't had their soul siphoned for song by these two, just as Plainview and W did to every unmolested tract of land in these United States. A scam of regal proportions, they weren't satisfied until they had turned every hair on Michael McDonald's head and chin stark white. In a logical twist of salted snack food ecstasy, Becker broke from Fagen's filthy trance and paid his penance in circus money. As for Fagen, any major dude could tell you he drank Scotch whiskey all night long and died behind the wheel, but only a fool would say that. All the Cuervo gold and fine Colombian in the world couldn't sate Fagen's deep-seated hate. Just ask Morph the cat. Fucking what the fuck is Morph the cat? Ruined this damn whole story. Donald always said they've got a name for all the winners in the world, but I want one when I lose. Well, here it is, asshole. Morph the cat. Yeah, look it up. Screw this shit. Take me back to Kissinger.
Dante's really got away with this stuff. This is
what is he using to generate this?
He's probably using
I think the writing is what gets me. The
I don't know
AI
if he's writing
audio
or AIs.
There's no way that was AI written.
It has such a personal touch. Morph the cat,
Yeah.
very obviously, very very excellent. I was expecting it to be about Daniel Day-Lewis, but I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, that was really good.
What Taylor? What is Morph the cat? Do you know what this is?
It's just a record, I think, or a song by Donald Fagen.
Oh,
I've never listened to it.
Solo work of his.
Yeah.
Okay, so probably not that great by.
Their solo work is all a little lackluster.
Yeah.
There is one album by Fagen that I enjoy on his solo work, but it's a lot more hit or miss than the Steely Dan discography on the whole, but I really like that there wasn't a stripper or a coked out guy in Phoenix that was left untouched by. That was good. That was really good.
A lot of excellent lines. We should make a YouTube short about it.
That is great YouTube short material.
Yeah, Boomers and Hippies and Tranced by Steely Dan. Oh, the Tale of Two Dans. Great stuff. All right, Travis, you'll be leading the discussion on There Will Be Blood.
All right, if Jamie could pull up my presentation. Now, what people are actually not familiar with is that Jeffrey Epstein is part of a long line of Epsteins who've been in a similar shady business in the shadowy world of global elites going back generations. So what I have for you guys is from DOJ batch 1857J9, and it's Jeffrey Epstein the First telegraphs, and this period is from 1899 to 1935. So this first telegraph is from Henry Brands, who, if you'll remember, was the Standard Oil executive who offered Daniel Plainview $1 million for his Sunday Ranch gusher.
Mm-hmm.
And it reads, "Do you to Jeffrey Epstein, do you have any connections to Daniel Plainview? Stop. Need to know if you can facilitate a meeting with him. Stop. Please advise. Soonest regards, Henry Brands."
Wow.
So a lot of people don't realize this, but Jeffrey Epstein's grandfather, Jeffrey Epstein the First, was actually pretty integral to the oil market out west in the early 20th century. And then
Remarkable.
It gets a lot darker. If you go to the next one.
Yeah.
And this is Jeffrey Epstein to Daniel Plainview a few days later. "Would you like to come down to Palm Beach to sample some quote-unquote oysters? Stop. They are freshly harvested and untouched. Stop. Possible business ventures can also be discussed. Stop. Please advise if interested. Stop." Signed, Jeffrey Epstein.
The stops are very authentic.
Yeah, this looks real to me. Looks very real.
I believe it.
There you go. The next
talking
one.
about this.
Daniel Plainview to Jeffrey Epstein. This was the next day. "I'm an oil man. I have no desire to sample your oysters. Maybe those Standard Oil yuppies like oysters, but I myself am content scratching around in the dirt to get mine." Signed, Daniel Plainview.
Wow.
So this kind of I don't think this really surprised me. I don't know what you guys think, but I did not see Daniel Plainview, despite all the success he was achieving, be one who would fall for Jeff Epstein, Esquire or senior's tricks.
No, I don't. I agree with you. I see him more as a Sigma, not really a hedonist at all.
Correct.
I think Plainview got enough pleasure out of murder. I think that was all he needed. That was the simple sweet fruit that he desired.
I mean, it would be entertaining to meme about him saying something like, "If I say I'm a pedophile, then you will agree. This is my 14-year-old girl." I don't know, but I just don't see it.
I do like that. I do enjoy the scene where Daniel and his fake brother go to the brothel, and Daniel's just so full of disgust watching him.
Yeah. Are there any more slides or?
Yeah, there's more slides. You can go to the next one.
Okay, cool.
This one's from Jeffrey Epstein the First to Eli Sunday. About 20 years later, March 9th, 1924. "Mr. Sunday, I am glad you have enjoyed Palm Beach. I am sure God will be pleased that his tithes did not go to waste. I heard that you liked your oysters so fresh that they had not even been opened. I myself am fond of
Christ.
I myself am fond of Oyster Rockefeller. Looking forward to our continued friendship. Signed, Eli Sunday. Now this, I don't think that this even surprised me. Because I don't know what you guys were picturing Eli Sunday getting into between the 1898 and 1927 interlude. But in my mind, it was something like
Was this Paul Dano's character?
Yes.
I could see it. It's also scary how I really could see them talking with lingo like this about oysters back in the day.
You really captured the tone of those emails.
I mean, these days it's just pizza, right? But I don't think they even have pizza back then.
It's CP, cheese pizza, aka child.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Alex Jones was talking about how Obama was ordering a bunch of cheese pizza and hot dogs without hair.
Hot dogs without hair is crazy. That's not even disgusting. That's not even veiled. That's so on the nose.
I don't know if it's real, but I remember him talking about that.
That can't be real.
My all-time favorite Alex Jones thing was when he was zooming in on Michelle Obama's crotch and trying to say it was the man.
Yeah, I did love. I don't. That's I'm sure we'll get into it, but that scene at the end where Eli's talking about how he's fallen on hard times, it's just so funny to watch because he definitely was just blowing all the church money on nonsense.
He has a big cross around his neck like a wigger.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's good.
We got to talk about that scene at the end because it is pretty damn hilarious.
All right, let's go to the next. This is the last one that I found from the DOJ release.
Sure.
This is one from March 10th, 1927, just around the time the stock market's crashing. This is from Eli Sunday to Jeffrey Epstein. Earthly delights have grown sour in my mouth. Not even oysters bring my pleasure anymore. My only hope with recent calamities is that you could use your connections with Standard and Union Oil to set up a meeting between myself and Mr. Plainview. God be with you. So yeah, I didn't realize that famous last scene of the movie was actually precipitated by Jeffrey Epstein's grandfather. It's just kind of crazy.
Wow.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, so that's the last telegraph I found. All jokes aside, did you guys enjoy There Will Be Blood as much as I did?
I enjoyed it.
I think it was probably my fourth time watching it.
I enjoyed it. A shadowy line of Epstein's going back into history. What did Travis mean by this? We may never know. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I sort of watched it while prompting Claude this time, so I maybe was less immersed because I have to grind and run Claude nonstop, especially coming up with a good prompt to run overnight.
Yeah.
So
Taylor, had you seen this before?
No.
It was the first time?
I had heard so many things about it that would have set me up for being disappointed had it been a good movie, not a great movie. But
yeah,
I think it met and exceeded some of the bars that were set for it. So I have a lot of good things to say.
Why is Paul Thomas Anderson just cooking so hard?
Yeah, I can't believe it's taken me this long to get into his body of work. I feel like, I don't know, somebody was leading me astray.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
I mean, people could tell you, people could pick Steven Spielberg out of a lineup. They could pick Quentin Tarantino out of a lineup. I think your average layperson, probably 95% of the country, could not pick Paul Thomas Anderson out of a lineup.
I think Spielberg
or have even heard of him. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know why he doesn't get more recognition.
I think I can't say that. Anyway, Taylor, you give your thoughts.
I just wanted to say we mentioned it in past episodes. Sorry, I'm umming. You can
you can buzz a little.
Yeah.
You've been a good boy, but you will still get buzzed.
There's been some recent buzz about Dano's performance in There Will Be Blood, specifically by
Quentin Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino said he sucks. So my context
What's the exact quote? What did he say?
He said he was a weak actor.
It would be, I think he said that this movie would be the best movie ever made if it weren't for Paul Dano, or something to that. That's absolutely nuts. So that my only context going in was people thought this was the best movie ever made, and
I don't know if he said best ever. I think he said of the 21st century.
Yeah, fair enough.
The best movie of the 20th century was Grease.
and the fact that he thought Paul Dano held the film back, and I couldn't agree more with. I couldn't disagree more with.
So I have the quote
on that.
I have a quote. Tarantino said, "Obviously, it's supposed to be a two-hander, but it's also drastically obvious that it's not a two-hander."
What is he talking about?
As in, it's supposed to be the film's supposed to be dually anchored by Dano and
two-hander.
Daniel Day-Lewis, where
weird way of
they're kind of two stars orbiting around each other. But he says, "Dano is weak sauce, man. He is the weak sister. Daniel is eating him alive. Austin Butler would have been wonderful in that role. He's just such a weak guy. Weak, uninteresting guy."
Wait, who
Daniel
do you recommend?
Austin Butler, which is such a weird recommendation.
Continue.
That is weird.
Daniel Day-Lewis shows that he doesn't need a strong foil. The movie needs it. He doesn't need anything. It's supposed to be a two-hander, and it's not. You put him with the weakest fucking actor in SAG, the limpest dick in the world, and that's it. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Now I will say, I think Paul Dano did overact it a little bit, and I don't think that. But to be fair, I don't think that anybody could be a co-lead actor with Daniel Day-Lewis. I just don't think it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I think the overacting serves the film, though. I think it, I wouldn't say overacting as a negative. I would say.
So you enjoyed Paul Dano in this?
Very much. Especially with the context that Plainview gives you when he's talking to his fake brother, where he's like, I hate everybody, I don't view these people as people. I think that colors his hatred for Eli, because Eli is when he's preaching, he's so ridiculous and over the top.
Yeah, I don't know. Nick, what do you think of Paul Dano?
Paul Dano? I'm sort of mixed. It was a very provocative statement by Quentin, who I don't think really has any room to talk, given the amount of
that is the part that's kind of cringy about it. And also, he's suggesting Austin Butler, who, when I think of Austin Butler, I picture Elvis.
I don't know too much about Austin Butler, so it's hard for me to comment. But I would say that Quentin has put out a lot of cringe, so he has really no room to talk. Dead N-word storage, that monologue. But I think I do sort of agree with Quentin here, as much as I hate to say it. I think Paul Dano, he does. I understand why Anderson casted him in this role. He really does have that. I don't know what the era is called.
He's kind of weak. He's kind of weak and snivelly.
But he has that sort of chinless turn of the century look. I think of the early late.
He's the 1915 speculator who doesn't know it yet, but he's about to lose it all.
I definitely see why he cast him as that. He definitely has that sort of naive Christian boy dope look about him. But I do agree. I think in the scenes where he does have to act, and it is a very hard role having to do these, to play a convincing pastor. I do feel like he is kind of weak in those scenes. Who I would replace him with, I'm not really sure. I don't know. I'd love to see Travolta with Lewis, but I don't know. He does all right. I don't think it tanked the movie for me. I think I could imagine a more compelling portrayal of the character.
I don't think that. One of the things that I was thinking after I finished was, would it have been better for his foil to be closer to him in age? But I think the young, like, optimist, hopeful nature of having like a younger. Sorry, I'm like crazy
That's
right
okay.
now.
Just getting buzzed.
Yeah, I'm just getting buzzed.
Think of it like a little bee. Oh shit. Think of it akin to a little bee that's in your ear.
If it was anyone but a boy, a younger character, I think it serves to drive Plainview more nuts than if it was
I think
adult that's corrupted in some way by time.
I think the casting was good. I think the idea is he's supposed to be a little bit more weak, snivelly, and false self-confidence that's eventually going to get shaken by Daniel's eventual victory over him. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I just think there were a couple times where he just goes too crazy. He's screaming, and I was just thinking to myself, okay, this is a man acting. This is not.
Yeah,
Eli
I think I think the preacher scenes are just. Yeah, I do agree. I sort of felt a bit similar. It's hard to think who could actually pull this off. I think maybe literally you'd need Joel Osteen or something. Or a real preacher.
The scene where Daniel has to go up and get baptized. It's funny because he was going crazy and slapping him, and there's a point where Daniel starts chuckling. It almost is me thinking that that's Daniel Day-Lewis chuckling at Paul Dano being a little over the top with it. But
do you think Gosling could have pulled it off?
I don't think he's.
I think it's still hard.
He's too cool and collected. I mean, in everyone's defense who's involved in this production, I think him being who he is serves the ultimate goal of showing Daniel's just complete and utter defeat of him.
I think I agree, and I think I do. I guess one thing I was thinking about is he's not. Maybe Daniel Day-Lewis is really the antagonist because Paul Dano is just not intimidating at all as an antagonist. I think I just would have liked to maybe be more compelled by his scenes where he's preaching because I don't think I really fully bought that he's this charismatic church leader.
I think what's supposed to be strong about him is his virtue, and that is why he is on the other end of.
I guess it's his virtue, but he's always talking about his church, and I never felt that he was someone that had any power against Daniel Day-Lewis. And in the end, when Daniel is talking about how he beat him, I just thought, is this guy really even a threat? I don't know.
So I think that's him like beating virtue and goodness. He's transcended the need.
I mean, but is the guy even virtuous? At the end, he rejects God. So.
No, I think the movie's speaking to maybe the false promises or the hollowness of organized religion as a way to actually have morality be a thing in society.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But do we think that all Sunday was a real person?
Did we lose Travis?
Travis? Ground control to Travis.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
I think a long line of is working on your internet wire.
the alternative is that Eli went to Daniel Day-Lewis or Daniel Plainview with the idea to go to the Sunday Ranch, and it was always just Eli was always just Paul all along.
But in the end, Plainview says Paul has working oil fields.
But does he know that first? Does anyone acknowledge Paul other than Daniel Day-Lewis?
That's what and there's this. I mean, I think of the scene where when Plainview shows up with HW at the Sunday Ranch, Eli walks over and he looks at him so knowingly that I don't know about you guys, but I was confused at first. I thought to myself, he's looking at him like he's already met him, and he's shaking his hand as if he's already met him.
It is.
I don't know if that was
just
just
weird that they're the same actor. I was getting. Maybe I thought it was sort of Ant Trap vibes, where it did strike me as a little weird having the same actor play two different characters. Do you think Anderson's that shrewd a filmmaker that it really? Because I think I would respect the film more if it was actually.
I think it is meant to be a little esoteric and up in the air about if Paul was a real person or not.
You think so? So you think he wanted him to go that? But I guess why the
it was his own. It was his own greed. Because he's.
Oh,
crazy.
So he has another persona he puts on of his greed. Oh,
yeah, because he can't face the fact that he has. That he wanted to essentially exploit the Sunday Ranch for money.
I think I could see that. But no, because he doesn't. Doesn't he know in the dinner scene about the oil? Because Daniel's trying to talk about quail.
Yeah, exactly.
He knows what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
I could see that. I do like that interpretation.
Well, and we know later in the movie, because he's down on hard times and has wasted all the church money, that he has some sort of a proclivity for wasting money on God only knows what. So, yeah, I think it is kind of plausible to imagine that $500 that Plainview gives Paul at the beginning was just Eli going to go spend on whatever.
304s.
Some oysters.
Oh, God. Taylor, what do you think of this theory?
I think it's really interesting. I did a very small bit of digging. I couldn't really find anything to support this, but I thought my first interpretation of it was some kind of like religious significance, because
they're all very biblical names too.
Yeah, Paul, Paul the Apostle. I couldn't find anything for Eli. So
Eli's the book of Eli, right? Is definitely a Bible character. I can't place him, but it sounds.
No, I don't think the book of Eli.
Is that a real thing?
It's a show.
Did I just quote a show as the Bible?
There is no book titled The Book of Eli in the Bible. The Book of Eli is a 2010 post-apocalyptic action film starring Denzel Washington.
Yes, because Denzel Washington plays a guy named Eli who's trying to find a Bible, so that's why it's the Book of Eli.
Thought this was a book of the Bible. I guess I got punked by Denzel Washington. Shit.
Yeah.
Guess I'm whatever.
I think your idea is really interesting, Travis. That they're the same person.
Yeah, I don't know. I could be wrong.
I think you got to just go with the most esoteric take, so I like it. I also really, I think I laughed pretty hard when he said Daniel Plainview's life goal to put a bowling alley in his house or something.
And Don, that was good.
Yeah. That was really funny. Yeah, Travis, what's your next topic? Take us.
Well, let's. I don't want to go through this whole movie scene by scene, but let's just start.
We've been recording a while.
Let's just start with the first act. I'm just gonna give a quick scene by scene, and while I'm giving it, just if you guys think of anything you want to talk about, I will stop when I'm at the end of Act 1, and we'll go back.
So you'll stop after we
get to the first act.
After we beat Minthara.
Yeah.
Cool.
So So you have the first act. We have the opening sequence where Daniel's a silver prospector, I guess. He falls into the shaft. He finds some oil, and then he's got HW because the coworker dies, and then he just pulls HW out of the basket. And we'll circle back to it, but there is a pretty neat part where he gets, instead of Ash Wednesday on his forehead, he gets oil on his forehead, but
that's very striking.
And then Paul Sunday visits Daniel, offering him information about oil. Daniel and HW go quail hunting. Eli demands more money. And then the well is constructed at Little Boston, and Daniel refuses to bless it. Is there anything in that first act that either of you guys would like to talk about?
Kind of easy pickings, but I think the opening scene where he is the silver prospector and he's falling in the well and everything. The music is, I guess, more reminiscent of like a horror soundtrack. And
it almost reminds me of 2001: A Space Odyssey, the opening scene with the monkeys.
Yeah. You can go ahead, Nick. I just wanted to mention the soundtrack.
Yeah,
the soundtrack
I agree. It's definitely
more sparsely used, but when it is used, it is very impactful.
Very, very foreboding violin. Yeah, it definitely sets the tone of the film. I think there was a lot of talk about this movie being an allegory for the Iraq War, and it came out around the time of that in I think 2007. And there was a lot of talk that this was a bit of a heavy-handed allegory of the Bush administration exploiting the Middle East.
Oh, really?
What did you think of that?
I don't know.
I didn't consider that at all,
Never
but
thought
that's
about
really
that.
interesting.
Okay.
Wait, what year did this come out?
2007. I definitely see it a lot when I watch this movie.
Yeah. Wow.
I can see that. Maybe that was sort of the inspiration. I think it generally fits the theme of capitalism overall, and
it's not a one-to-one mapping,
but yeah, I mean, I could see it. I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast at all, but there was pretty good analysis of One Battle After Another, where we were talking about how that movie.
Don't spoil it.
But it's not a spoiler, but people were talking about how that movie pretty closely, with the time jumps that it does, pretty closely mirrors and seems to be an allegory for the election and disappointing Obama years, and then that leading to the election of Donald Trump. So I could see how the Iraq War might have inspired the director in a similar way.
Yeah, I think that's just a sort of note to keep in mind. I guess the time and place always influences ideas and things. As for Act 1, I don't know if I have too much to say. I guess, did you think he was always cynical with the child, or do you think he actually liked the child? I took it as sort of that he was a bit mixed feelings, that it was partially cynical to adopt this child, but also he sort of cared for him. I don't know what you thought about this.
I think it's both. There's definitely some scenes where you can see him visibly concerned. I think about when he lost his hearing, when he has to put him on the train and send him off to the school for the deaf.
Yes.
So there's definitely some parts where you can see him legitimately caring, but I think that kind of erodes over time, and you see by the end of the movie that he pretty much just casts his son out. He doesn't care.
I also did want to ask, there's a scene where his son is shooting quail, and he has a shotgun and is just firing that thing off. Would that not be really loud? I don't know. Would they just not care back in the day where the gun's softer? I know you've shot a lot of guns. What's going on there?
What do you mean?
I mean, how could you Wouldn't you go deaf from or it'd be really loud from shooting a shotgun as a child with no earplugs?
I mean, I don't think it would make you go deaf. You just might lose if you did that consistently over many years. You might lose your hearing.
Okay.
I've been around.
Guns to me are just so loud that I don't think I could do that.
I fired guns growing up, and every now and then the hearing protection wouldn't be on really good, and I don't think it really messed me up too bad.
Well, Brian Johnson's ears are 64 years old because of shooting guns as a child. I don't want to
Brian Johnson,
the Live Forever guy. Not to be confused with the Liver King, who's the other Brian Johnson.
Interesting.
I don't want to derail too much on autism.
I almost put Liver King in my presentation earlier. He's on some real schizo shit lately.
I mean, parasites are probably controlling his brain, so.
Yeah. My last piece on Act 1 and kind of the whole film, I am really happy that no one ever said there will be blood.
Oh, that would be they look directly in the camera.
Yeah. That would have been really bad.
I would do
like at the ending. if the butler came down, Mr. Daniel, there will be blood.
I'd be the Pepe rolling his eyes.
I was terrified of that. There were a couple of moments where I was like, "Oh God, it's gonna happen." No.
Yeah.
Some notable stuff for me. I liked, or shit. Another like. I already mentioned it.
Wheels.
I know. I already mentioned, but HW kind of getting. I don't know if baptized isn't the right word, but definitely some religious perversion where he's getting the oil put on his forehead like it's Ash Wednesday. I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah.
And then I think it's the next scene, his dad gets killed. Which that's kind of a reoccurring theme because later when the well doesn't get blessed, we'll get into that.
I think it's the big man, the same one that killed, Taylor was there in the Urban Cowboy review, but God killed Travolta's uncle in that movie because he was being disrespectful. Might be the same thing happening here. Yeah. He literally got struck by lightning.
Common trope.
Riding the bull.
I also really like the scene that's become something of a meme where what was it? What did I say? Did I say or like?
You said I really like the scene. You're greasing the wheels. Shit. You were like, oh god damn it, I did it myself. You were akin to the oil rig, getting all that oil and slicking everything up. So
I love the scene where Daniel Plainview comes to see the town with HW. I think that, I mean, I just always think of that scene when I think about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one where, and this is my son, HW.
Yeah.
And they're all, and it really shows that. I just love it too because it shows kind of the desperation that everybody's in to just, or it's like it's bloodlust almost, or oil lust.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's so desperate to get drilling, and there's oil just gushing out of the ground and chaos.
Yeah.
So I love that. Yeah, that's kind of my favorite part of stuff from Act 1. All right, then we have Act 2. So the well erupts after Daniel doesn't bless it or let Eli bless it, which I thought was really funny. And then maybe the well's cursed. HW's deaf, and then Eli confronts. Oh yeah, and then Daniel then Daniel beats Eli up and pushes him around in the oil and the muck. I thought that was pretty funny. And then Daniel gets the offer to buy him out for $1 million. He turns them down. He wants to build the pipeline.
Crash out in that scene. That was
where he says, I'm going to come into your house in the middle of the night and slit your throat.
that was a legendary crash out.
Gamer moment.
You know what I'm going to do? One night while you're sleeping, I'm going to sneak into your house and I'm going to slit your throat. He's like, why are you saying this? Why are you talking like a crazy person? And then he meets Henry, and then he is vulnerable with Henry, and he has the famous scene where he tells Henry that he hates most people, and then he ends up killing Henry. So, either you guys got anything noteworthy from that section of the movie that you really liked?
Going back to the Iraq War comparison, his son's literally named H.W., similar to George H.W. Bush, right?
Did you see the meme I sent in the group chat?
No.
I sent a meme where I had ChatGPT change HW's face to George H.W. Bush's face.
Oh wait, I definitely saw that. That's definitely what I was.
Chat. Oh. And then I just captioned it. This is my son HW.
Sorry, I think I have dementia. I sort of forgot you sent that meme and then thought I remembered it. Yeah. No, you're right. But I guess I was just tying that back to the Iraq.
No,
war.
That's actually really funny.
As for Act 2, I don't know. I might need to simmer on it for a second.
I maybe want to go, Nick, if you want to wait. If you want to think on it. For me, Act 2 is where this movie went from being just good technically to really compelling. Namely in the scene where the oil derrick explodes. And
dude, yeah, the shots of that at twilight, so good.
Not only, yeah, the shots were crazy, but the average story. I don't know if it goes. I guess Daniel's kind of an anti-hero, villain. I don't know. In most stories, there would be some level of balance and a point where Daniel would have some kind of setback. And that, while you're watching the scene where it explodes, you're thinking this is devastating. He didn't bless the well, and it's going to be his end. But then at the kind of the tail end of the scene, he is saying this is actually the best news for him. This whole nightmare with his son losing his hearing and the rig exploding. That he's set at that point. This what appears to be a monumental setback is actually his beginning, or him being launched into tycoon status, because he knows there's just an endless amount of oil under there.
Yeah. It almost I found myself thinking about that a lot, where it's almost so you'd think that not blessing it, you think that he would be cursed. Mm-hmm. But it turns into that gusher, as they call it. It's almost as if the point is the success and the money actually is the curse. Because the more he gets, the more he just descends into madness. And him and his son grow further and further apart. So it's almost as if it really is the curse. But it just doesn't seem that way. That's a really
great point.
It's very infernal imagery, having fire burst out of the ground. I don't know what our friend from Florence would say about that, but yeah.
And then the Henry stuff too. I think the Henry stuff really was. I think Daniel saw it as his last chance to maybe have some sort of family and connect with other people. And then when Henry turns out to be an imposter, that was really just. I think that just sealed the deal for him. As in, I'm done with people now completely.
Yeah.
That was also a really interesting setup. The Henry, like the initial conversation was Daniel saying, well, if it's in me, it's in you. And then they go to that Peachtree festival, and Daniel sees Henry being kind of an oaf. And I almost feel like that's when he realizes that he's being lied to, because
I think he realized it because he said we'd bring our girls to the Peach Festival, but he didn't know what he was
or something.
He didn't know what he was talking about, and that must have been some sort of thing from Wisconsin.
I could have seen it almost as if the peach dance was made up, because he does get him to acknowledge it.
Oh, or maybe that. Yeah, I don't
I
know.
couldn't. I think it could go either way, but yeah, something about that that's wrong with him. There is a lot of talk about what were we saying? If I guess family relations, the false brother, the false son. Do you think the blood from the title "There Will Be Blood" is referring to the familial blood?
I don't know. I just took it more as there would be blood on the way to his success, but it could mean that. I don't know.
Blood on the bowling alley. Yeah, maybe.
Mr. Daniel?
I don't know if I have too much else. I want to ask, in Act 2, the other thing that happens is the sun burns down the house. I couldn't really. I know he's looking at the articles, but I wasn't really sure why he did that.
I think it's because he pieced it together that Henry was a fraud, because he put all the kindling and accelerant under Henry's bed. So I think he was trying to light Henry on fire.
The kid was deaf at this point, right? So
yeah, so he couldn't express himself, but in one or two scenes prior, he was flipping through the
that's very
journal,
tragic.
and I think he was piecing together that Henry was a fraud, and then I think he tried to kill him by burning him, but
I also
being misinterpreted.
I think that's right. I also wrote down some notes. What's the brother's name? Henry. I wrote down that he really annoyed me and was really beta. Even if it was his actual brother, I would find him pathetic that he comes crawling for money once Daniel makes it. And I was not to say happy to see him get dispatched, but I do understand Daniel, his desire to send him to the circle for frauds.
Yeah,
you almost can't imagine them being related. They couldn't be more different.
I felt that Henry. I felt that was a better performance of a beta than Paul Dano, because you never see him try and be anything more than a beta.
Yeah. Sweet. Then you've got Act 3. Daniel comes back to little Boston. Then he has to get baptized, which I think is probably, of all the Daniel Day-Lewis being Daniel Day-Lewis I've ever seen, that's probably the S tier.
That's pretty
pretty good.
And then we get the time jump, all of Daniel's success. HW parts ways with his dad, and Daniel tells him, "You're an orphan and you're not mine." And then we've got the bowling alley scene. That's it. What'd you guys think about this? What'd you guys think about the baptism scene?
I enjoyed it.
In terms of the performances, I was pretty blown away. I know Dano, we were saying he's a little over the top, but I think it serves the scene that he's over the top, and he's casting out the demons from Daniel, and eventually he gets the buy-in, and Daniel's really speaking with some vitriol.
Yeah, do you think he really sorry, I was just gonna ask if you think do you think he really repents during that scene?
Well, that's what I was just gonna say, is to your question earlier, Nick, about whether he actually cared for HW at all. I think he really does when he's forced to admit that he's abandoned his son. I think at that point he really does. You can see he knows he's in the wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just after that scene, I think, that he brings HW back to show the Standard Oil guys, "Hey, I brought my son back. See, I'm not a bad guy."
Mm-hmm.
So I think he does know that he's in the wrong and feels bad about it.
Yeah, I guess I would say this does feel like the most Dano has the upper hand in a convincing way over him, because he is getting a real confession out of him.
Yeah.
I watched this by myself, and when it got to the part where Daniel Day-Lewis is shouting, "I've abandoned my son," I obviously was speaking to no one, but I still was just audibly said, "Wow." I thought that was a crazy scene.
And then we get the time jump to the house that he always wanted or talked about, his giant mansion, and he's shooting things inside the house because he's obviously very bored. And then HW leaves. Yeah, I mean, I think we saw this coming, that eventually they would grow apart, and it's pretty tough to see. He just completely disowns him and tells him he's an orphan and just doesn't even care.
Is the implication that they were in business together before then, and HW is going out on his own?
Yeah, he was a part. I think the whole shtick where he was his partner when he was a little boy, I guess, developed into him actually working for his dad.
And I suppose he ultimately does choose.
Yeah, and I guess it did work out well for HW. I mean, he's got that girl from oil rig. He's married to her, and they're going off on their own to do their own thing. So I guess it ends well for them, and they get out of there. And then we've got the famous milkshake scene.
I thought, before we move on, I thought the choice in this scene to make HW speak for himself was so fascinating, because obviously he's going to sound kind of dumb when he speaks for himself because he's deaf, and just making him do something humiliating is just so. It was great.
Yeah.
Great development of Daniel Plainview.
That is really where you see him. He really seems just so crazy in this scene.
Oh.
He's sweaty. He's limping around. He just looks bad. Then the bowling alley scene starts with him just completely just conked out. Very clearly, he's becoming just a full-blown alcoholic. Just doesn't care.
The bowling alley scene, I actually forgot that he killed Paul Dano in it. I forgot there was even a fight.
Yeah.
So when they're arguing and he threw him on the ground, I laughed out loud. He just starts mogging him out of nowhere. I also was wondering if they had milkshakes back then, but I guess they probably did. It seems a bit out of pocket to reference a milkshake, but
they didn't have them.
They didn't?
No, I'm saying it would be crazy for them to put it in the script, especially since it's the most famous line pretty much. And they never even had milkshakes.
That would be crazy, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Daniel with the bowling pin in his hand screaming that he's the Church of the Third Revelation is just crazy to watch.
Oh yeah, that's what I was about to say. Him saying he's the third revelation, that was mind blowing.
It's just so good.
Yeah.
I mean, the movie for being, it is, I would say, overall a pretty slow paced movie. Despite that, I really feel the whole time I was just transfixed, and that goes right up until the end.
Oh yeah, I think
pretty good.
Up until the oil derrick explodes, I think the technicals keep you locked in, and then after that, the story and the characters just take you away.
Yeah, it's a pretty good example of there really doesn't need to be anything crazy in the movie for there to be extremely taut suspense the whole time and have you be transfixed on it.
Yeah.
What high level question? What do you think actually motivates Daniel's character? Because he doesn't seem to even really enjoy money or being rich.
I think it's just he said it to Henry. It's just the competition for competition's sake. He just doesn't want to see anybody else be happy or succeed.
Yeah.
It's like when the Standard Oil guys, they said, we can make you a millionaire from 1 minute to the next as you're sitting there. but he had no interest in that because he knew they'd make more money off of him than he would make off of them. He just wants to win.
Yeah. Yeah, I got
there was
to add to that too. I think just on his hatred of other people, how he views them as lesser than. The house at the end serves as almost a palace to this lonely life he's made for himself, and it's exactly what he wanted. But I think that's also part of the drive, is he's able to build himself into this place where he has his servants, but they're serving him, so it doesn't bother him. But he doesn't have to see these lesser thans and all that.
Yeah, I got the sense that he just is not someone. He just seems very soulless, and not someone who has much interior life other than he just seems similar to a void. Just wants to beat others and get more for himself. I think he'd fit. I think he'd do well in the the 2020s.
Yeah, will you rate this movie as doom, flop, movie, film, cinema, or kino?
It feels easy to just call this kino and move on.
It would be easy to do that.
I can't justify anything but kino. I do. The only other film I've put in kino was Phantom Thread, and I think Phantom Thread moved me a lot more. But I don't think that means that this movie isn't kino. I think it's just kino in a different way.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
So you're going with kino?
Yeah.
All right, Nick.
I'm actually going to go with cinema.
Whoa.
I enjoy. Boo me. I enjoy the movie a lot. It's very immersive. I like all the settings. I guess I would just say maybe a stronger antagonist, and maybe I don't know. I just find Daniel Day-Lewis's character is. I think there's just more dimension to characters in Phantom Thread and other movies. He seems just like a shark in this movie, and I don't know. I think my thoughts are it's great, but I just reserve kino for Grease and musicals.
And
Greed has no equal, Nick.
Yeah. I actually don't even think I gave Grease kino, but I retroactively probably would.
Retro kino.
Retro kino.
I hear where you're coming from. I'm just gonna have to give it kino, because if this isn't kino, I don't know. I don't know what is.